Hello, hello. Trying to set my camera. Hello, everyone. 1 minute, please. Okay, I think that's better. Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Good evening, good evening, everyone. Hello, Lagos. Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Hello, world. Because I am very much aware that it's not only Nigerians that are on this platform, and I have been seeing a lot of them posting all sorts. I just refuse to say anything. Okay, so let me turn off my music so that we can start tonight on it's 7 minutes past 9 already. Okay, good evening, guys. Good evening, BLS family. Good evening to every one of us. Happy weekend. How has our week been? Hope it was not hectic and hope it was not as stressful as mine. Always. So somebody wants to join the conversation. Okay, you know what? Somebody wants to join the conversation. Let me see. Okay, Mr. Balogun. Mr. Balogun wants to join. Okay, so let me add you. So, Mr. Balogun, I've added you to the session. Okay. So, good evening once again. Welcome to Business and Legal Structure Facebook group, where we talk about how to start, run, and grow a legitimate business. So, this group is all about your business and legal structure of your business. The legal aspect of your business. Okay, Mr. Balogun, welcome online. Welcome, welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
welcome,
Okay,
madam.
but
Yeah.
all right, but I will need to, I will have to remove you because people are not really seeing my
Yeah.
face. So I'm going
Okay,
to
okay,
add
that
you
is
back
okay.
when it comes to question and answer and contribution aspects. When we get to that stage
Okay.
of question, answer, contribution, comments, I will add you back. I hope you don't mind.
Okay, that yeah, I don't mind. That is okay.
All right, thank
That is
you.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so sorry for that interruption. So my name is Precious Toju. As you all know, I am a business and real estate lawyer, and basically what I do is to help entrepreneurs, companies, and investors avoid costly legal mistakes in their business and real estate transactions. Okay, so as a business lawyer, I help you structure your business in a way that you will avoid costly legal pitfalls, and you'll be able to build a business empire using legal structure. So basically, what we do on this group is to learn how to start, grow, and run our business according to the laws of the land. So I'm seeing you guys. Welcome, welcome. So tonight is a very interesting topic, a very, very interesting topic. I will be talking about return refund policy, what every entrepreneur and business owner should know. Return and refund policy, what every entrepreneur and business owner should know. Now, if for those of you that are very active on the social media, you would have come across, especially on the Instagram, you would have come across people's bio, people's profile on the internet that says no refund, no return, no exchange, and all of that. So that really sends a signal. I'm still going to talk about this that much later, but that sends a signal to people that this particular person policy or ideology of carrying on business is that he or she does not return, does not accept return, and does not refund irrespective of the circumstances. So those are pointers to what a return and refund policy is all about, though that is not really what a return and refund policy is all about. So let us dig deep. What exactly, so that we won't take much of our time, what exactly is return and refund policy? Now, before we go to defining what a return and refund policy is all about, because a lot of people have a misconception, we need to understand that every business is a contract. And when I say business, I mean every aspect of the business that you're engaged in. Whether you are a vendor, you're selling physical goods, or you are a professional person, you're selling services as well. So every business, whether it is goods or services, is a contract between your business, between your person, and your customer or your client. And so when 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 a contract is in place, there are obligations that are expected in law of both parties. Like I said earlier on, every business is a contract, whether you are into selling of goods or you're into offering of services. Once you have projected yourself as a service provider to the public or as a vendor, whatever you're selling, you are calling people, you are calling outsiders, you are calling the public to come and transact business with you, to come and enter into a contract with you. And these contracts can be enforceable in law. Okay, so one aspect of your business is the return and the refund aspect of it. It's it is part of your business that cannot be overlooked, or that you cannot just throw into the dust. Okay, so that I will not speak too much grammar, what exactly is a return and refund policy? Now let me read through my notes. Now I said in my notes that a return or refund policy is an agreement, it is an understanding, and it is a well spelled out terms and condition where vendors and service providers inform their clients and customers, that customers and clients, their business stand when it comes to returning of the goods or refunding of services that they had paid for. And this understanding comes to play after money. It comes to play after money has exchanged hand, but the return and refund policy is actionable, so to say. It comes into reality when monies have exchanged hand. You have sold goods, you've collected money, or you have rendered certain services and you've collected money. However, your return and refund policy should be well known to the person that is transacting or contracting any business with you. Like I said earlier on, a return and refund policy is an agreement. It is an understanding. It is a well spelled out terms and conditions from a service provider or from a vendor to his or her customer or his to her client, that this is my stand. This is the stand of my business when it has to do with returning of goods or returning of services. Now let us be very practical. For as many that shop on Jumia or Gigi or any e-commerce website, Jumia will say, Jumia will state it when you are about to pay for your goods and service, or for your goods, that you can return goods if it is not what you ordered for, if it is damaged, or it is different from what you had in mind, within 7 days. Now that is a return policy. Okay, if you're following, that is what we call a return policy. And then I need us to understand that a return policy is typical to a vendor, while a refund policy is typical to a service provider. So I am a lawyer, and if I have a refund policy, it's basically is because I am offering services. So what I will do, what the policy I will have is a refund policy. and not a return policy, because you cannot return back my services. Okay? So for people that sell services, for people that sell digital products, virtual goods and services, what do we have is a refund policy. For those of you that sell things that are physical, that are product that you can move from one place to the other, what you will have is a return policy. So I need us to understand that tonight. Okay, so there are so many reasons business owners, entrepreneurs should have a return and refund policy. It's a necessity. It is not. Now we need to understand that a refund or return policy is not a legal requirement, so to say. When I say it's not a legal requirement, what I mean by that is it's not compulsory that you must have a return and refund policy, but it is a necessity. And the bad part of it is that where you do not have a return or refund policy with your customers well spelled out and agreed to, the laws of the land concerning contractual agreements or contractual relationship between two parties will apply. So it is better for you as an entrepreneur or as a business person for you to have a return and refund policy so that the law of the land will not apply to your transaction by default. So I hope that is clear. So I'm going to be taking it very fast because I know a lot of people want to come on camera, a lot of people want to interact, and that is the whole essence of this. Is the whole essence is for us to interact. Now, your refund or your return policy must be clear. The terms must be clear. Now, for those of you that deals with bigger kind of services and products, your return and your refund policy can be embedded in your terms and conditions, probably your sales terms and conditions. It could be a clause in it, and it could also stand out in it. If you go to a lot of e-commerce, in fact, there is no e-commerce website that does not have return and refund policy. They must have, because and that is why when I see people put on their social media handle, I see that a lot on Instagram. I sell XYZ wears, no return, no refund. So what happens? Because when you sell online, when you're selling things online, I've had my own experience with what I ordered for and what I got. I've had my own experience. I wouldn't want to mention the website for professional reasons, but I've had my own experience, and thank God that those websites actually have return policies. So where I want to shop, imagine somebody wants to buy wears worth 200, 300,000 naira from you, and she goes through your catalog and she picks. Because what a lot of people, what they put on the internet is not really what they sell at the end of the day. And she picks like 250,000 naira worth of wears, shoes, whatever. And you're saying, now she ordered for a size 40 shoe, for example, and the size 40 shoe gets to her, and she tries it and she sees that, oh, it's too small, it can't even enter my leg. That just happened to me recently. It can't even enter that, because the size 40 was a small cut. And then you're telling the person that bought from you that she cannot return it, even when it is in good condition, it's in good shape, that she cannot return it because you have sold it. Now, I did a video on that last week. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel for people to view it by next week. And it sends a wrong signal. To me, once I even see that you don't have a return and refund policy, I can't even shop with you. Because you're just telling me that, in as much as whether there are inadequacies from your end, you don't care. It doesn't mean anything. You're not going to still refund me my money, or even exchange for something, or we do a 50-50 thing. So you're just saying, I just dash you 250,000 naira. That is if you live in Nigeria. And when I see this on the internet, it's crazy. They may have followers, they may have people that buy from them. It's beautiful, but No big time business person will do that. No person that wants to build a business empire that I keep talking about, that wants to go global with his or her brand. Because if you look at all the global brands, even the designers that you buy, the designers wears, they have return and refund policies. So the thing is, you must have a return and refund policy as a business person. It's even to your advantage. And we need to be clear that a return and refund policy spells out what you can take and what you cannot take, your do's and don'ts, your terms and conditions of returns or refunds concerning your services. Now, if the person accepts, that is, if your customer accepts that, oh, I have read through, as long as the person has read through, he or she understands it, or whether the person just flip the way the way all of us, we just flip through the terms and conditions of it, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all those apps that we download from Google Play Store. So the way we just scroll through and accept, by default, as long as the person accepts, then it gives you a free hand to determine how your business is going to be run. But where you don't do that and the person escalates the issue, the laws of the land will apply by default. So we're going to quickly look at, for example, if you are a vendor, there are certain things that should be in your return refund policy. For example, do you accept return or refund? If the answer is yes, you will put it in your return and refund policy that you actually accept products back. Now, if now you in your return policy, you should also state clearly within the time frame in which a customer can actually return goods that he or she has bought from you. And that is why I say it's in fact, for you to have a return policy as a business person is the best bet. So for example, I mentioned Jumia because I do some shopping with Jumia, so I can actually talk about them because I have an idea. I wouldn't want to mention companies that I really don't have an idea about. So Jumia tells you that you can return the product that you have bought from them within 7 days after you have purchased it. So that 7 days tells you that, oh, within 7 days of purchasing, you can actually return if you bought a product that is not in good shape, or probably the size, or probably the color is not the color that you wanted. So you can actually, and then Jumia, when Jumia have you have returned it and they check it is in good shape, they refund you your money excluding logistics. So these things are what you will spell out in your return policy, that you can return within 7 days, within 3 days. I've seen some people say you can return within 24 hours. It's beautiful. You are your boss. You are the owner of your business. You're the one that will state categorically what you want concerning your return policies. So you can say, oh, you can return this thing back within 24 hours. It must be in good shape. Once it is examined by our officer and it is in good shape, then you will get your refund less logistics fee. Do you get? Now it gives people a peace of mind to it gives people a peace of mind to actually shop with you. Now that's one thing that the return policy includes. Another one is method of payment. Now there's some people that have a return policy and they say, oh, if you bought a shoe from me and the shoe is not your size, we're not going to refund your money, we're going to exchange it with another shoe. It may not be agreeable by some people, but it's something. It's better than, it's not your size, it is your business, we are not refunding, you cannot return. I don't know if you get the picture. So you're the master, you're the game changer, you're the one that determines what happens. So you can actually state in your return policy how it can be returned. Oh, you can actually return it, but we're not going to give you your money, we're going to give you what you actually had in mind. Okay, you ordered for a purple shoe and we mistakenly delivered a lilac shoe. Oh, we are sorry. What we are going to do is to give you a lilac shoe. Not, oh, it is your business, it is lilac shoe that we have, you have to take it. I don't know if you get the whole thing. So another thing that return policy will also entail is the shipping fees. For example, the person who would have paid for logistics for delivery at first. So when you are returning, when the person is returning and you're replacing, you need to state categorically you have to state it in your return policy who is going to pay for the second logistics. Some company will say they will share 50-50. Some company will say it's solely the responsibility of the customer to pay. Now where it was the fault of the company, that is the company mistakenly gave you what you did not order for and they actually have what you ordered for, the company will take the blame and say, oh, it was our fault, it was our mistake, so we are going to pay for logistics. Whatever, the point here is whatever works for Mr. A may not work for Mr. B. You determine what is workable and doable in your return and your refund policy. Now, I have happened to buy some digital products online and I see them say, try this method, try that method for 30 days. Where you do not get results, we will refund your money 100%. While some people will say, we will refund your money less 30% administrative fees. Those are refund policies for service providers, for digital creators and all of that. And it is beautiful. You determine what you want concerning your business, but do not scare your customers or clients away and say that you do not have a return and refund policy. And like I said earlier on, where you do not have it and the issues get out of hand, the laws of the land will actually come into play. So I want to quickly talk about the benefits of having a return and refund policy. I think I've talked about the other aspect, that it helps you to determine what you want in your business, and it gives you control. But I need to also state here that you must let your terms and conditions of return or refund be well known to your customer or your client before he or she pays a penny. Now, where you hide your return, because we have situations like that. I've had, as lawyers, we see a lot. We get cases, we get people consult us for different things. Some very laughable, some very sarcastic, some very you'll be wondering, why are human beings so difficult? You can easily settle this. So you have a lot of people hide return and refund policy. They won't even tell you. It is when you now have an issue with the product, they'll now tell you, we do not return, or we do not collect back, and you are like, at what point in time did you tell me that? That is how we do. So you must, it doesn't even show that you're a sincere business person. So you must, as a business person, let your clients and your customer know what your policies are like when it comes to returns and refunds. You should let them know. And if you have a website, like you have a website where you put your product, you before the person for those that are digital, for before the person even clicks to you should put a ticker box where terms and conditions, and it will be there. The person can scroll down like we do on social media and click return refund policy. It's clearly stated there. Basically, when the person clicks, whether the person reads it or not, the law doesn't care about that. Caveat emptor, you are supposed to be conscious of what you are buying, and you should be able to read. And so if it is there, you tick and you actually accept it, so the business owner in that situation does not have an issue at all. But the point really is, one of the benefits of return and refund policy is that it gives you control over your business, and it gives your clients and your customers and even potential ones confidence to do business with you. Okay, like, for example, some people will contact all and say they want to register their business and all of that. And while we give you a list of the things, we always say send a mail, and we send you a mail. We always state, oh, this is how long the certificate is going to be ready, subject to this. This is what it is. No, you already know. You already have an idea of what you are going into. And I tell people, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes entrepreneurs think that they are being smart by hiding some information from their customer clients. You see, the truth of the matter is, anybody that is going to patronize you is going to patronize you. Let your terms and conditions be very voluminous, very like very thick, very hard. The people that will patronize you. In fact, some people will appreciate you the most when your terms and conditions are well spelled out. They have an idea, you give them a clear picture of what they are entering into, and you leave space for in eventualities, things that may come up in the future. You leave space for it. Now it builds confidence in your customers, it builds confidence in your clients. It makes them, they will boast of you. They will actually boast of you. They will actually boast of you with people. I have clients that will boast will be boasting about me, and if I tell them to pay money, they will not pay me good money, but they will be boasting. But that's because we have an understanding of what we are doing from the day go. We have an understanding. This is how it works. This is how it will be when we get to this particular stage, because it is your work, it is your business. You are not expected to be an amateur in your business. You may not be a perfect person, you may not have a perfect system, but it is your business. So to an extent, you have an idea of what may turn out to be, and that's why you leave space for in eventualities, because in case it happens, you have already informed that in case this happens, or anything that is unseen, unknown happens, this is what will take place. So these are the things that you should spell out. So these are one of the benefits of return and refund policy. Now, information that you should include, I have discussed it. Now, how should you now, somebody once asked me that if I have a return and refund policy, um um do I need to have an agreement again? Now, it all depends on what your business is all about. A return and refund policy, like I talk about, could be a document on its own, depending on the nature of your business, or it could be a clause. It could also be a clause in your terms and conditions. It all depends on what you are doing. Every transaction is peculiar. Every transaction is different from the other. They may have similarities, but there are always some differences between this particular transaction and the other transaction. So it all depends on what, if you already have terms and conditions of transacting business with people, all you need to do is to insert a return and refund policy in it. But if you do not have, and you just want to, if just want to focus on your return and refund policy, then you will just have it as a document on its own. But the bottom line about return and refund policy is that your customer or your client must be pre-informed. You do not tell your customer or your client about your return and refund policy after you have collected after you must have collected money from them. It is actually wrong. It is really, really wrong. You don't do that. If you know you're not going to return, if you know you have an issue with returns and all of that, you let your customer and your client know. It's not the issue of, a lot of people have it at the back of their mind, and they're afraid that, oh, if I tell my customer, if I tell my client the way things are or the way things should be, that they will not patronize me. Like I said earlier on, people that will patronize you. Sometimes it's not too good to try to be very corny about things. Spell it out. Personally, I love transaction that is well spelled out from the beginning, whether it's in my field or it's not in my field. I know what I'm going for. I know how to plan myself. So a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that, that they like things to be spelled. And now, if somebody refuses to buy something from you or refuses to engage your services just because you have spelled out your return and your refund policy, then let the person go. Because there's some clients and some customers that they give you so much headache that whatever they have paid you, you would have spent it resolving that issue. So who knows, probably that client or that customer could be that kind of person At the same time, you mustn't make your return and refund policy too stringent, so to say, too hard, and too not flexible. You should understand that nobody wants to part with money. That's the gospel truth. No matter how desperate somebody needs a particular service or a particular product, that person still doesn't want to part with them with his or her money, but wants the product. Now, if not that sickness is something that nobody loves to be ill, but you still see some people that when they are sick, because they don't want to pay hospital bill, they try to manage themselves at home with self medication until the thing has gotten out of hand. So that is to tell you that even with people's health, as important as health is, people really don't like to part with money. So so you have to understand that people really don't like to part with money. You have to be business conscious. You have to have this business sense that, oh, your return and refund policy, you are in business to make money. The other person wants to get all that he can get from you without paying a dime. So you have to have that at the back of your mind and make your return and refund policy flexible, not too stringent, and favorable to both parties. It's that easy. Okay, so that's basically what I want to talk about on return and refund policy. Please, it is a necessity. The summary, the summary of it is that return and refund policy is a necessity. It is not a compulsory thing in law. We need to understand that no law says that every contract must have a return and refund policy. No, no law says that. But the law will apply where your client decides to sue you. Your client or your customer decides to sue you to court concerning a particular thing. Yeah, a particular transaction had escalated, had gone beyond normal dispute. You cannot settle the dispute. Things could not be, and the client decides to sue you, and then you now get to court and say, oh no, my lord, I do not actually accept this, and the court is going to ask you, where did you state that from the beginning of the contract? So that is why you must have a return and refund policy. It is for your own good. It gives you control over your business. You determine the terms and conditions, and overall it gives your customers or your client or whoever you're dealing with confidence to transact and do business with you. Okay, so everybody that wants to come online, I'm adding you now to put in your comments. Okay, I'm adding Mr. Balogun. So it's time for comments, it's time for question, it's time for comments, it's time for contribution. We can actually share our experience. Thank God this is not Instagram at 55 minutes, 59 minutes, they'll be reading and be telling me that time up, and all of that. Okay, Mrs. Folake wanted to come online. Oh, I don't know if she's still online now. Okay, I can't see her again. All right, so if for as many that wants to you have a question, you want to contribute to this, or you want to share your experience as an entrepreneur or a customer or a client that you've had an experience with somebody that saw something for you and the person said, I cannot take back, I cannot give you your money, or you have actually done it to somebody. Let's share our experiences. It's life. Nobody is perfect. We get to learn and we move on and all of that. So let's share our experience. I've invited Mr. Balogun. I haven't adding him. I hope he has not gone offline. Oh, okay, no answer from him. Okay, so just in case you came late for tonight's live section, I'm going to be online tomorrow on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Ask Lawyer Precious. Whatever I do on Friday, I always do a repeat of it on Instagram. For those my followers on Instagram that are not on Facebook or not on this group. So if you came in late, you can actually join me tomorrow on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Ask Lawyer Precious, and we talk about return and refund policy all over again. You will need a template of return and refund policy. Remember that every transaction is different, is peculiar, and every business is different. There could be similarities, but there are always peculiarities. So there is a link on this video that will take you to getting a template of return and refund policy that I have done, which you can easily edit and use at your convenience. You can easily edit and use to suit any of your business. Just click on the link, do what is necessary, and you will get a template delivered in your inbox. All right, so that will be a wrap from me tonight. Mr. Balugu, I tried to bring you online, but it's not just connecting. I don't know why it's not connecting. And I will soon be saying good night to everybody because this is supposed to be a 30-minute live section. So if you have any question, please drop in the comment box. I'm going to respond to them. I'm going to respond to each and every one question. If you have experiences, drop in the comment section. If you have a comment, if you have something to talk about, to add, to contribute, please drop in the comment section so that we can interact. And I haven't forgotten that I said that once we get to 1,000 on this group, each and every one of us will be able to talk about one or two things about his or her business. Get to talk about one or two things about business, not advertise or not market your goods and services, but you can actually get to talk, educate us about an aspect of your business that we need to know, and give and just drop a link that one can actually interact with you directly if the person needs your goods and services. So if you haven't been inviting people to this group, you are stingy. You are stingy because you're gaining a whole lot and you are not inviting somebody. There's this saying online that you have the moral obligation when you come across and information that is useful, you come across platform that is useful, that you know can be useful to other people, you have the moral obligation to share that information and share the group platform link and all of that. Don't share bad news all the time. Somebody died, this person died, and you forget to share good things like this one. Okay, thank you so much everyone for coming online. If you need a template of a return and refund policy, click the link on this video, and I will see you same time next week, Friday. From this end is good night. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.